Welcome back to my channel. So today we're talking about you're not wrong for thinking and feeling the way that you do. My inspiration for this video is from my own life and also from meeting with a lot of clients, and basically all my clients are women and children. But I see this with a lot of women, especially women that have PTSD due to domestic violence, and even domestic violence survivors that don't have PTSD but have other diagnoses such as depression or anxiety. I see a lot of these women and they are very confused. They don't know themselves, meaning what they like, what they dislike. And they have a lot of questions about, am I wrong constantly if I think this way? Am I wrong because I feel this way? And like I said, I've been there. So this isn't a negative judgment. But the thing is, you can get help with this. And if you want to know how to take steps to overcome this, stay to the end. So first thing is also what I noticed with a lot of people dealing with domestic violence, and just a lot of women that's insecure in general, is that they may have come from childhoods where it wasn't okay for them to speak up on what they liked and what they didn't like. It wasn't okay for them to have a thought that was disagreeable to what the parent had to say. And under those circumstances, when you're dealing dependent on your parents or who your caretaker, foster parents, it may be advisable for that child to shut up and try not to be seen if they're going to get beat, hit, and punished. But the thing is that worked for us. It was our defense maybe in childhood, but now that we've become adults, we may still see ourselves coping with life in ways that no longer work because we're just so used to doing it, and it may be unconscious. We're just still going around acting like nothing hurts us, nothing penetrates us, that we're happy all the time, or that we're euthymic, just meaning not happy, not sad, just like level, but decent. And we're just going about our life like we don't have these intense emotions and thoughts, but we do. Every human being has thoughts and emotions, and it's not just going to be feeling happy all the time. So what I'm going to try to do is give us some tips on how to not continue to act as if we're 5, 6, 7, and 8 when it comes to who we are at our core, like who we really are, and what we feel and what we think, is to start to mature in that area. And it will take some time, but if you practice, these things will get better. So hold on into the end. So here we go. So again, it's okay to feel sad. For instance, during COVID, a lot of stuff happened. So if you got laid off from your job and you were sad about that, maybe you liked that job and you found out you weren't coming back, I wouldn't expect you, and I don't think anyone would expect you to feel happy at that time. You may have faith in God, you may have faith that the universe is going to help you, whatever it is, but yeah, the initial shock, something may hit you in your stomach. Something, in our body lets us know something is off. For me, it's like my stomach. I get this little sensation in my stomach. It's the best way I can describe it. Something lets you know that something happened and that you should have some thought about it, and you should consider why you have that thought. Or you got some type of emotion. It's like it's there for a reason. So of course you're not going to be happy all the time. Somebody died, you're gonna feel sad. Of course, if something good happened to you, like give you a lot of money, somebody give me some money, I know I'm happy, a gift card or something like that. There's going to be times when we're angry and when we're frustrated. Why? Because we're humans. We all have these emotions. If somebody is speaking to you in a way you don't like, you're gonna have a problem. Somebody borrowing money from you, yes, it's okay to be angry. So the thing is yes, it's okay to have these emotions. Somebody pushing you, putting their hands on you, somebody continuing to do things to you. You told them you don't like it, you spoke up for yourself, and they continue to disregard you. Of course you're going to have problems with this, and it's okay to say it. And in order to, the way you get past this feeling that it's not okay to have angry emotions and to feel worried sometimes and just to be irritated sometimes, is to practice being truly authentic. Because if you're denying that you have a problem with somebody's behavior, you have a problem with being angry or sad, You're not being your authentic self because you're denying yourself the full emotional range that we have as humans. So you're going around and people can tell. I mean, the crazy thing is people are smarter than we give them credit. They can look at our faces, you know, and say, they'll say like, "Are you okay?" And your face is like this. And you're like, "Yeah, I'm okay." You know, and people can tell like you're not okay. And that's the thing is we continue to go in that way of lying about what we're thinking and feeling, even though we know by now people can just look at us and tell, especially if you don't have a poker face. It's written all over your face. You don't have to say a word. Somebody said that. Who was that? Silk mint condition. Tell me in the comments because then I'll be thinking about it all the time. You know, just like with people denying that their feelings was hurt. Like for instance, if I say something to somebody, even if my motive isn't, I don't have a wrong motive, but that person took it in a bad way, and then I say, "Oh, did I offend you? Did I say something?" Because I can tell like your energy changed. You like rolling your eyes, your lips poked out. And they're like, "No, ain't nothing wrong with me. You ain't hurt my feelings." Well, yeah, your demeanor says I did. You know, so that's the thing. And I used to be that person. I didn't like hurting my feelings. If somebody said I hurt their feelings, I thought if I acknowledged my feelings were hurt, that made me weak. That didn't make me weak. It doesn't make you weak. It's okay if somebody hurt your feelings, but I don't know why we use that term hurt feelings, you know, but it is what it is. But if your feelings were hurt, you know, the thing to do is to start to analyze why. Again, look at your trigger. A lot of the women that I counsel, it's like they say, "Oh, it's not okay to be angry. That's bad. I need to push that emotion to the side." And it works. And I say, "Well, is that working for you?" I stole that from Dr. Phil. And then they're like, no. You look at their lives, the PTSD symptoms over time is not decreasing, but it's increasing. They're continuing, and this is a symptom of PTSD, avoiding talking about situations that have to do with the abuse or whatever made you, you know, stress you out. Because if the mind tells you, "Oh, it feels better if I can just avoid feeling this, or if I can avoid thinking about this, I'm going to feel better." But ask yourself if this is you. You've been avoiding these feelings. You've been avoiding your thoughts for months and months and months, and you're not getting any better. So clearly, it is not working. It's time to be authentic and say, "Yes, I do have these feelings." So one thing you can do to take a deeper look at these feelings is start to say, when I get angry, how do I feel when I'm angry? I ask people that to get them comfortable with addressing their feelings. Like some people, they may ball their fists. Some people may scowl, wrinkle their forehead, purse their lips, or whatever. Or some people may start to sweat. How do you feel when you're sad? What's going on? Is there something going through your head? Are you feeling like life is not good? Life is not going to get better? What are you thinking when somebody make you angry? "Oh, this person disrespected me. They think I'm a punk. They think I'm a joke." Like, what's going on with you? Then you can start to get a hold of these emotions, starting to understand them better. Because whatever you keep avoiding, it's going to come at you in a different way. I mean, it's going to make itself known. Like, you're trying to deny the anger, but then you keep exploding on people. You're hitting people. You're going off. You're cutting people off in the traffic. You got road rage. It has to come out. So in order to allow it to come out is to get to know it in a bit, in a way. And you have to tell yourself, if you start crying and feeling like you're unstable when you're getting to know these emotions, you have to talk to yourself like, "Self, the angry part," because it's just a part. It ain't your whole self. It's just a part of you. Angry part, I'm going to allow you to talk to me and I'm going to get to know you finally, but you're not going to have me going crazy and crying where I can't get myself under control. You got to talk to that part of you that's sad, that part of you that's irritable, to get to know it. So first, like I said again, what is the triggers? How do you know what's causing these feelings and thoughts to come up? Also, asking yourself, okay, so if anger is if let's say if somebody stepped on your foot in line and they didn't say anything to you, and you find yourself, you're not saying anything about it because you don't want to cause a scene. You think it's bad to cause a scene, which is not. You have a right to say, "Hey, you stepped on my foot," you know. But let's say if you don't want to, if you're not acknowledging it, it may play out something like this. You may start noticing you get a knot in your stomach. You may start pacing and you get the thoughts like, oh my God, I can't believe it. And then instead of dealing with that and speaking up, you may end up going to just saying, well, I'm sure they didn't mean to do it. I'm sure this and this, totally invalidating yourself. When you don't acknowledge that you have a right to feel as you do, a right to think as you do, you invalidate yourself. And you're looking for other, you're looking for ways to make the other person right. But the thing is, to get over this problem is to go ahead and just practice saying something. And the fear that some people have, well, what if it turns into a fight? Keep asking yourself. It's called the downward arrow technique. What's the worst can happen? So if it turns into a fight, what's the worst that happen? And let's say the person says, well, I could get hurt. And then if you get hurt, what's the worst that can happen? Maybe I'll have to take time from work, but then what's the worst that can happen? Maybe I'll be homeless after that. And then the reason you're looking at that is because then you're looking at what is the deep fear, and then what's the worst can happen? You become homeless. Then they probably say, well, I'll be a failure. That's the real fear of them being a failure. And so then the way you start getting over that fear of talking about the emotions and the thoughts is asking, well, when is the last time you succeeded? Tell me all the times you succeeded. What is the likelihood that you will become homeless and a failure from a fight in a store? And then asking, is there other ways that scenario could play out? And they may say, yeah, maybe the person will just yell, okay. And if they yell, what's the worst can happen? I yell back, okay, then what's the worst that can happen? Well, maybe we just pack up our stuff and leave the store. Okay. It's always asking, what is the fear? What is the real fear about? Hope you were able to follow that. And so another thing that I notice is that when people when they're uncertain of themselves, they always ask other people, well, am I right for thinking this? Am I wrong? Am I wrong for doing this and that? The thing is that yes, there's some circumstances where we should go to other people before we make a decision. Something big, such as, of course, like countries going to war. Yes, they should consult. I mean, you're deciding to do something that could really change your life, that's really big, and you go to somebody who may have experience in that. That's different. But nobody can tell you how you should think or feel about something because they don't have your same experiences, your background. So they're not going to know how you should feel and act in that situation. And then I ask you, you're going to these people so they can validate your world, but would you even trade places with this person if you could? Is their life so admirable to you that they have the say so in your life? If not, why go to these people? And sometimes when you go to people, especially if you have this problem, you may have a lot of people around you who are taking advantage of you and using you anyway. So you're going to people who could be competing against you. Of course, they don't want to see you if you're asking them, should I go back to school? They don't want to see you doing better than them. You're asking, should I get married to maybe somebody that's not married and may be jealous if you get married and don't want to see you married first? They're not going to give you the right information. I always say, check a person's motives. Why are they telling you what you should feel and what you should think? And then also about your feelings. I've had like past friends, or I would be dumb enough to go ask somebody that, and they'll be like, oh no, you shouldn't feel that way. Oh no, how the heck they know what you should feel and what you should think? Like I said, if you get a sensation there's something wrong, it's because it is. It ain't about if it's right or wrong. For you, there is something off, and it's your signal that you need to address it instead of running to everybody else trying to get them to tell you what's right and wrong. And when you do that, you give up control, and people are like, well, why are people always controlling me? Because you're giving them a reason to. You've shown yourself inadequate regarding how to navigate your life. If you're always open to everybody's feedback, of course people are going to be like, well, I found somebody who needs controlling and they ain't sure about what to do, so let me just tell them, because apparently they can't figure it out for themselves. And so we got to stop putting ourselves in them situations. If we don't want people speaking up on our lives, stop going to people, asking them, because it makes a person look weak. That's just my thought about it. So yeah, you don't want to go to these people who going to put you in a box. If you say you want to become some artist, you want to write books, you want to paint paintings, you want to make beats and drums, play on the drums and stuff. And if they ain't seen you do it, of course, I'm like, well, I don't think that's right for you. I ain't never seen you do nothing like that. If there's something in you telling you to do it, do it. Worst scenario, you fail. So what? We all fail at something. Pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and try again. Until you find what you want. And all the times, you don't have to tell people every new adventure you're doing. If you failed a lot before and people have laughed at you, you've got the wrong people around you. And maybe it's time to take a step back and get some people who are actually on your team and supporting you. You ain't got to tell people every new venture you're starting if you feel that they're going to make fun of you. Keep it to yourself until you pass, until you succeed, and then go back around those people if you so decide, and show them the good that you've done. Also, I will say that if you want to know what's right and what's not right regarding your thoughts, one thing for me, I read the Bible. That lets me know what's right, what's not right. And everybody may not read the Bible, but I'm sure you grew up on some type of moral code, even if you're out in the street, some kind of street code that lets you know what's right and what's wrong. And what I will say is, for people who practice the Bible, I do know that even in scripture it says that we should go to our brother and sister if we find them doing something that's wrong, meaning wrong against the scripture, not wrong against what's man-made doctrine, and you can't find it in the Bible no how many times you look. But yeah, we should be able to go to one another and say, hey, based on this scripture, I was just concerned, and then if they take it, and they don't. But if somebody did that to me, yeah, it may hurt and I may be upset, like, oh my God, they said I did something wrong. But if they show me the scripture and I look, my thing is like, oh yeah, I was off on that. I repent. That means like, okay, I didn't, say within and say to God, okay, I didn't do it right, but hey, now my goal is to do it different. I'm not beating myself up. Yeah, I'm wrong. We all been wrong sometimes. And I think that's a lot of fear that I see with my clients. They're always concerned about, am I wrong? Am I wrong? Am I wrong? Am I wrong? Sometimes stuff ain't right or wrong. Sometimes stuff is just what it is, And this is where I got it from, even from the Bible. Like Solomon talked about, for everything there is a season, and I'm not quoting it perfectly, but I look at that, it's a time to be happy, it's a time to go to war, it's a time to fight, to stand up for yourself, to say this isn't okay, I don't like what you're doing, yeah, you told me I'm wrong about it, but I am trusting myself and know that if I feel it, it's right. If I think it, I know it's right. I'm not about to keep questioning myself, because that is just crazy making. So yeah, you may not think it, but I think it. And another way, like I said, to analyze your thoughts and your emotions is to ask yourself, if you're angry by something that maybe your partner said to you, and you don't really understand why you're angry, I would say go back and look at your past. It doesn't have to be childhood, but just ask yourself, when is the last time you felt that angry, and what does this current situation remind you of from your past? And you can start doing your investigative work like that. You may notice, like, wow, when I was in high school, I had a professor yell and scream at me, and this partner yelled and screamed at me. It reminded me of that time, and during that time I felt powerless, and I don't like other people screaming at me. And you're totally valid for that, and to tell that other person, I don't like to be screamed at. It's not okay that you do that. It makes me feel angry. And stop. Also, just reminding yourself again, just to wrap it up, that no one is perfect. Even if after you analyze your thoughts, your feelings about why you're feeling this way, why you're thinking this way, if you realize that you don't like the way you handle something, all you have to do is to go back to that person and apologize. And what's the worst thing that can happen if you go to them apologize? Maybe they accept your apology, and now you're going on a relationship with a person that's cool, because you told them what you like, what you don't like. And then if they decide to meet you there and help you with that, and don't disrespect you in a way you feel disrespected, you got somebody that's good for you. You go to somebody and they're telling you, oh, you're crazy for thinking this, you're crazy for doing that, then you got somebody that's possibly not the best person to be around, because they're not respecting you. So yeah, again, to wrap it up, I do want to say, and hang on to the end, I'm going to put some limits around the 2 free therapy sessions once I reach 1,000. I'm going to say, if I reach 1,000 over 1,000 subscribers, like even 105, 103, over 1,000 subscribers by January, the end of January, the last day of January, the 30th or 31st, whatever day that is, of 2022, then I will give the 2 free sessions. But if we don't hit it by the end of January, I'm not going to be able to do it. I'll come up with something else, maybe give you some free books. Speaking of books, my books, I Should Have Worn a Curtain, a novella, part 1 and part 2, are both available on Amazon.com. Author name Self-reliance Alexander. You can find the information below in the my comment section. Again, the books are free if you have Kindle Unlimited. This one here, if you don't have Kindle Unlimited but you want to buy it for your Kindle, or if you download a Kindle app on your phone, this one is not just 99 cents. They're on sale. This one here is $1.99. $5.99 to buy the paperback, $7.99 to buy this paperback. And even if you don't like to read, if you just want to share, there's a share link on Amazon. You can share with other people on your social media, other friends and family, buy gifts for other friends and family. I'd really appreciate it. If you've already read, thank you so much for your support. I appreciate you. And even if you haven't read, I appreciate all my subscribers. And I would also ask to please leave a comment. That really helps an author if you leave a comment, your honest feedback on Amazon. And also I'm available on Goodreads too. Let me know what you think about this video. I hope you had a great weekend. Take care. Bye.